Hello, this is Broyar, and welcome back to another episode of our Let's Play for Football Manager 2023 as we continue our Road to Glory run with Banbury United F.C. in the Vanarama National League. Today is going to be our end-of-season review as well as our transfer special going into next season. I will also show you the new tactic that I'm going to be trying out, but let's get right into the episode. All right, here we are. Banbury United end-of-season review 2024-2025 season. The new arrivals. We got a few, not a lot. Honestly, really not a lot came into the team, which, maybe that's part of our problem. I don't know. But overall, they played fairly well. I mean, Charles Cook, not so much because we just didn't play him, to be honest. But Cooper played mostly okay. Fremantle, McAvoy, Kawasi, Wakely. Actually, we've got A+ for Wakely. We've got an A for Kawasi, A+ for McAvoy, A+ for Fremantle. I mean, Cooper's our worst one here. I just feel like we paid too much for him, which I'm not disagreeing with necessarily. And then, of course, Charles Cook. Really, really bad score there. Transfers out. We sent Rhea out. Got a B for that, and then Render went out, also a B for that, so I guess they were okay with both of those. Loan outs, Alfie Matthews, actually not looking too bad. He might be coming back for us. We'll have to take a look at some of the how he fits into the new formation, but there's a good chance he can come back for us. Fleming didn't do so good, and then Chapman. Season results, again, 13th place team. Now, I will call this out real quick. I went through the list, at least the top, 15, 20, whatever. We are the second-ranked semi-professional team in the entire league. Every single one of these teams is a professional team until you get down to Dorking, and they're semi-pro, and they're only 3 points ahead of us. And then South End, we're semi-pro. Like I said, South End's pro, Yeoville's pro, Eldham's pro, Exeter's pro, Barnett's pro. The next semi-pro team is down here at Buxton. So that's definitely hurting us a lot. I mean, you can't really do formations if you can't train. So that's part of the reason why this new formation might be something that's really, really good for us in the situation that we're in right now. And again, we'll take a look at that here in just a moment. But overall, I actually thought we did really well, especially considering that we are a semi-pro team. I did just ask the board to see if we can become pro. I fully suspect them to come back and say no again, but it's always worth a shot to try to do at the end of the season. Not so good in the FA Cup. Obviously, we know that. C+ in the FA Trophy. But again, overall, not a terrible season. Biggest win was our 6-0 win against Scunthorpe. Match to remember was our 2-1 win against Barnet. And the goal of the season was an 80-minute goal in a game where he looks like he's got 4 goals for Riley here. I guess we'll go take a look at these goals real quick. See how he did. There's Hickman with the ball early here. This is going to be our first goal. That will be a Pollock goal there. I'm assuming his... Okay, I guess Riley only had 3. Never mind. There's the first one, a penalty shot, obviously. Second one, another penalty shot. Neither one of those is going to be the goal of the season. But this last one here in just a moment will be the goal of the season right there. Nice. Nice. In basketball, that would be a 3-pointer. So, but no, well done. And then, of course, we give up one late here, which is unfortunate, but didn't really matter at the end of the day. But no, good stuff. That was well done by Mr. Riley there. Finances. I mean, we're still only 1 star, no sponsorships, no notable deals. Basically the same. A little bit more broadcast revenue, a little bit more corporate hospitality. Competition prize money went down quite a bit because we didn't make it very far in the FA Cup this year. Or was it the FA Trophy? One of the two. They gave us a little bit of money last year. And then match day commercial retail actually went up a little bit. Pollock had the most shirts sold. Riley, Harkin, Jeffries, Cooper. Sounds about right, actually. So overall, not terrible. Here's how we lined up primarily. Remember this formation. This was actually a pretty decent formation for us. It got us through last season, and it got us started this season, but just couldn't quite finish it. But remember this formation because it's going to look a little familiar here in just a moment. And the accolades. I did get manager of the season for the Vanarama National North. Yay me. Fans player of the season was Pollock. I agree. Young player of the season was Pollock. I agree. Signing of the season, Charles Cook. I suddenly don't remember why we didn't play him that much. We'll figure that out here in a bit. Goal of the season was Riley. We saw that. Top goal scorer was Pollock, 27. I'm hoping we get a bigger jump out of him in the new formation. Most assists was Jeffries. Most player of the match awards, Pollock. Highest average rating was Pollock. And most passes completed was Fowler. Most goals by player in the match was Pollock with 4. Same thing for league match. Worst discipline, 17 yellow cards and a red card for Riley. Poor Riley. He's getting a little bit older too. We're going to have to find a replacement for him eventually. Highest transfer fee paid, Cooper. Didn't really show up and make that transfer fee worthwhile. We'll see if we can get something better out of him this season. And the highest transfer fee received was Render, $11,000 for him. All right, history in the makings. I mean, we did all right. That spill of football at the start of the season was the making of Banbury. I would agree. We did pretty good at the beginning. We even got as high as, what, second or first? I can't remember exactly. And then Banbury started better than anyone would have expected, and it rarely slipped up thereafter. I mean, we did slip up. We were very inconsistent for the rest of the season, but we did enough. So again, we got 60. We were in the 60s on the points. I mean, there was a lot of teams that were below us. Oh, wow, this is new. Did I see this last season too? Why do I suddenly not remember this? Oh, this is just this is where we were at. Started off at Buxton, moved to Chelmsford, and now at Banbury. Got 1 trophy, 1 major award. Yeah. Cool. This is kind of cool. 100 games already with a Banbury. I don't expect them to be firing us anytime soon, which is always good. Let's see. Harkin got into the best 11. Jack Stevens and McAvoy also in the best 11. Supporter profile update. 23% of it is family. I mean, we don't have a lot of fans, so I think a quarter of our stadium is just family of the team. But yeah. And then performance analyst. Sorry, that's actually what that says. I mean, not terrible. I mean, we could definitely be doing better in a few places. Match momentum. That was just against the Torquay game, it looks like. Passing dynamics. I mean, we were not very well overall. And then, of course, there's our attacking forwards, specifically Pollock, I guess. So, club vision and expectations. They want us to play possession football, play high-tempo pressing football, play entertaining football, work within the wage budget, maximum 1-year contracts for players over the age of 33, build a new stadium, which, did we start that last season? I can't remember. Honestly, it's been a while since my last episode. I'm trying to remember exactly what else happened. Attempt to avoid relegation. Really? They're going to do that again. It's interesting. Training facilities improvement completed, so we are working on that. And then, of course, we're just continuing to attempt to avoid relegation. I think we can absolutely overachieve on this vision, and that is my expectation. Squad dynamics, end of season team meeting. We're going to go with that. Really? You don't like that pressure? All right, fair enough. I'm a little disappointed in that. But what you gonna do? Once we start doing some stuff, then they'll start having some confidence as well. No, Pollock cannot be leaving us. All right, we just got a staff meeting. We'll come back to that in a minute. All right, let's go look at the tactic. Here's the tactic. I told you, remember that other tactic. I mean, what's the difference here? I mean, it's literally flipping the 2 back lines. We're instead of playing 4-3, we're playing 3-4, you know. So other than that, it's basically the same. So this is supposed to be a really good tactic overall because you're staying really strong, sound defensively, and gives you wingbacks that can really keep the field wide. And then you just give lots of space for your strikers to, quite frankly, make accidents happen. And that's really a big part of this tactic is just get it to your strikers. A lot of the time, the passes aren't going to connect, but when they do, there's a very good chance that they're going to be in a good position to just take a shot and make something happen. So that's the general consensus here. We may have to look at some players to see if this team can actually fulfill this type of formation, although honestly, not too bad. One thing about this formation that really jumps out is we're trying to minimize the number of instructions over here because, quite frankly, most of our team is not going to be able to follow the instructions anyway. Partly because they don't have very high teamwork on average as a team, but also because we're semi-pro. we can't practice our tactics. We've just got to throw bodies out there and hope for the best. It's kind of how you have to play this lower leagues, especially as a semi-pro team. So that's kind of the consensus here. Strong defense where it's going to be hard for them to get to us. But then when it's time for us to push up, we already got 3 strikers working, and then our wingbacks will be able to do the rest, hopefully, and help out a lot. So we'll see how this works, and I will be doing lots of transfers. I say lots of transfers. Some transfers to see if we can get a good team in here. I mean, speaking of transfers, I mean, overall, expect the line to be... Usually I draw the line around 6.8. So Babos and below would be fair game. But with the new formation, some of these other guys might actually play better in it. We'll see. I'll do some tweaking. We'll play around with it. And I guess I'll bring you guys back when I've actually made some progress overall on the formation. And we'll see where we're at. Overall in finances, we're at 35,000 transfer budget, which actually we can do something with. And then not much in the wage budget. Really not a lot. So we're going to have to move some people on just so that we can get some new people in. But we'll see what we can do. So like I said, I'll bring you guys back when I know something. All right, we're back. And it always takes a long time to do the transfer window. But we are done. Yeah, so let's take a look at this. So this is... I have to go back up to the end of last season because I did get a transfer in and a transfer out at the end of last season. The transfer out was Balbos here. He went off to St. Albans. We weren't going to be using him anyway. Got something for him. It is what it is. Not a big deal. We also sent Terrell out on a loan right there at the end of the year. Our incoming player, we spent a good chunk of money on, as you can see, but we still have a good chunk of money as well. So it's kind of crazy. But we brought in Hayes Green here. He comes in here from Salford, and he comes in as a central defender. So he's going to be our starting central defender on kind of the left side of the 3 at the moment. 4-star current ability, could be as high as 5-star overall. Career stats, not great last season at Salford in Skybet League 2, but really good in the Vanarama National North a year before that. So maybe he's not quite good enough to be at the higher levels, but I think if he could fall pretty good somewhere here in the middle, then we will be happy with that. So that's that one. We then brought in 4 other players as well. So not a lot of transfers. I mean, I tried. I actually tried to get, there's a couple strikers I tried to get, a couple, there's like a midfielder, a couple defenders. Like there's people all over the place that I try to go after. And it's just hard to get people when you don't have a good reputation. And our board puts restrictions on how much fee we can pay in salary. Now, I mean, I had available wage budget, but they still capped out the salary higher than some of these players wanted, some of the really good ones. So we did bring in Trigger here on a free. He comes in here as a central defender as well. He's actually going to be a backup for us, but a good player. 6'4", really, really tall, good jumping reach. Heading's not as great, but really we just need tall players in that back 3. And so he fits the bill there. So actually, technically, so does Hayes Green here. He's 6'2", 12 jumping reach, 11 heading. So that's the big reason we brought him in as well. So Trigger, Hayes Green, both of them tall players. We then brought in Abbott on loan from Notts County. And he comes in here as just a good midfielder backup, potentially starter if he develops well. But for now, defensive midfielder backup, I should say. 3-star current ability, could be as high as 4.5, maybe 5 stars. He hasn't played especially well, but his stats looked good, and I wanted to give him a chance. I mean, sometimes players don't play well because they're in a bad system. We'll see what happens with him. Maybe he is, maybe he isn't good, but we're not paying a lot of money for him. And then we also brought in 2 more free transfers, as you can see. Sean O'Brien comes in here as a backup striker. Only 2.5-star current ability, could be as high as 4-star though. He comes in here primarily as another tall player. I want a couple of my players up front to be tall. I want all 3 of my my central defenders to be tall. And then I want my kind of 2 outer guys up front to be tall. 2 strikers on the outer sides to be tall. And he fits the bill there. 6 foot tall, 10 jumping reach. It's not amazing, but 15 heading. So we'll see what he can do for us. He's going to be a backup to Coyote. Potentially could take the starting point for Coyote as well, because he's actually pretty close. We'll see. We'll kind of play it by ear on that one. And then finally, Solanka here. He comes in here as another defensive midfielder option. He's going to play backup to Sharif initially, but again, he could actually take the place of Sharif because they're about the same rating. and he actually has a little bit more potential. So he comes in here just as a solid physical player, good work rate for this level. We'll see what he does. I mean, honestly, we just don't know. He hasn't played terribly bad in the Vanarama National North and South. Not like it's amazing stats. I mean, it's definitely not over a 7, but I've definitely, it would have been good enough to stick around our team for another year if he played, 6.8 or higher for us. So we're going to try him out again. I mean, the pickings were slim, honestly. Again, our reputation isn't the most amazing, and we have limits on what we could pay. So that's that. Sadly, we still actually have quite a bit of money. Still got $40,000 in the wage budget, 40,000 pounds, I should say. And, the transfer budget and then the wage budget, we got about 760 pounds per week. So we'll keep our eyes open. If any of these players don't feel like they're going to turn out well, or, as we approach the mid-season, the January transfer window, we might have to bring somebody in at that time. So it is what it is. Getting started the ons. It couldn't be Football Manager without him. We are building a new stadium. We're about to be building a new stadium. We're in the planning stages, trying to get funding, all that kind of stuff. It hasn't officially kicked off yet, but that is trying to be happening. I asked again to become professional. They said no, so we're just going to have to do the best we can. So overall, here's how our tactic plays out. Here's going to be our starting lineup. We're going to have Hall in goal, Hayes, Green, Wakely, and McAvoy across the back. Again, we got 6'2", 6'4", holding in the middle, and then 5'11", but 13 jumping reach is pretty good. So he's the shortest of all of them, but I feel like he's going to play pretty well. We know he plays pretty decently. So, and 5'11" is not like super, super short. It's actually an inch taller than I am, but we'll see how he goes. And then our outer wings, we've got Jeffries on the right with his 11 work rate. That's something that we're really, really going to be keen on. And we're going to have Jacob on the left. Only a 10 work rate, but I mean, at this level, it's not terrible. We'll see what he can do. And again, Sharif and Abbott starting off. Sharif starting off for sure in the middle. Riley would be our other starter primarily, but Abbott's going to take the starting spot this first game because of Riley's suspension. Excuse me. Those yawns. And then again, up front, our outer guys are going to be tall guys. Pollock on the right-hand side, 6'2", 13 jumping reach, 14 heading. We've seen him score a lot from that spot from headers and things like that, from corner kicks. Obviously, he's going to come in as a targeting forward. Coyote on the other side as a pressing forward. He's got a 6 foot tall, only 8 jumping reach, and 2 heading. It's not great, but otherwise, I mean, he's just a tall guy. And that's primarily what we're looking for over there. We'll see what happens with him. And then, of course, Harkin comes in here as our attacking forward here, advanced forward. And he's not tall. Our 2 guys in that center role, Harkin, and then backing him up is going to be Fremantle. Those guys are just quick. Good acceleration, good pace. We'll see what they can do. Guys, I don't know why you guys started. I've been sitting here for like a couple hours doing this and not a single yawn. It's not until I start talking to you guys that I get yawns. But again, just a quick guy. Fremantle, again, coming in here as his backup. Only 5'8" up for him, but 12 acceleration, 11 pace. We're going to just see if they can just make those breaks, get that ball fed to them from your Pollock, Coyote, people like that, and see what can happen. Overall, though, that's our team. We're not actually rated very high overall. If we come over here and look at the season preview, 22nd is what they're expecting for us, so that's not good, as you can imagine. We shall see. We don't have anybody up here in the Dream 11, anything like that. It's going to be an interesting season. I mean, I'm going to try to see how this formation looks. I mean, we haven't tried anything like this before. Not quite like this, so we shall see. We split the friendlies. The first 2 were against Skybet League 1 and 2 teams, I believe. And then Kidderminster and Horn. Kidderminster is Vanarama National North, I believe. And then Hornchurch is even further down. So we can score. Again, it's just friendlies. Who care? It doesn't really mean a whole lot, but I don't know. I really have no idea what to expect here. I expect a lot of goals from Pollock. He's actually ranked 2nd currently as far as the odds of being the league goal scorer leader. So we shall see if that comes to fruition or not. But our first game is going to be up against Colchester, followed by Barnet, an away game, and then a home game, respectively. Really, really hoping we can get off to a good start here. But again, I have very I don't know what expectations I have. I have no expectation right now. I still need to try and find like a power player with the money that we have. We might as well. But that has proven easier said than done. And again, until we start really seeing who's struggling, it's going to be hard for us to know for sure who to swap around and who to bring someone else in. So we'll see. I mean, our weakest link by far is our backup goalkeeper spot, because we actually sent Terrell out on loan for now. So we actually brought up one of our youngsters, Mr. Cherry, I believe it is. Where is he? Oh, we can do. I'm looking at the wrong thing. I was like, why can't I see what I'm looking for? General info. We go look at our positions. Mr. Cherry here. He's not even yellows. He's in grays, but he's just going to sit there as a backup. Like absolute emergency, we could play him for a game. It is what it is. Should be able to recall his loan, right? Let's see. We cannot for some reason. I thought I'd set that. Maybe something changed. So maybe getting us another backup goalkeeper wouldn't be the worst idea. We'll see what happens when we get there. I'm not too worried about it just this second. So, but there we go, guys. That's our team. A couple improvements, not drastic improvements. Really, it's just it's a tactical change, and then a couple spots to fill in the gaps. I mean, if we can at least get mid-table like we did last season, I would be happy with that. If the tactical change and a couple small changes in like the defensive sides and things like that give us just a little bit more leg up, then maybe we can get that top 10. We shall see. But there we go. Let me know what you guys think of the team. Again, next episode will be coming up soon. But I do appreciate you guys watching. May God bless you, and I hope you join me again next time. Thank you, and goodbye. I wanted to give a special shout out to the following channel members. Thank you so much for supporting the channel.